Lee Pace, you are definitely no longer the pie maker. Hey everyone, this is David Starr from Watcher Pass, and I'm here to talk to you about Foundation Season 1, Episode 2, Preparing to Live, which premieres on Apple TV Plus on September 24th, 2021. So it's the same day as the first episode, The Emperor's Peace. So you get a back-to-back Foundation premiere on one day. So you can binge essentially a movie's worth of content and figure out if you like it or not. And spoiler, I liked it a lot. I like this series. I've only seen 2 episodes, but it's really kind of hooked me. I like the characters. I like the environment. I liked the dramatic aspects of it. So I really like it. I'm going to talk a little bit about this episode, but not too much. I'm going to try not to spoil a ton. I'm going to talk about 3 things I liked and 3 things I didn't like. So in this episode, you have Gail and Harry, and I think his name is Raish, learning how to survive. They've been exiled to this kind of outworld planet. And so this episode, they're kind of learning how to survive on that planet and kind of traveling towards there. And then some stuff happens. And then over at the Capitol, you have the 3 emperors trying to uncover the terrorist plot. So the last episode ended with a plot that kind of blew up the sky elevator and caused massive destruction. That was kind of the end of season 1, episode 1. And so now the emperors are trying to figure out what happened, who was responsible, how to correctly punish. And so a lot of this episode deals with them trying to, trying to decide which of the emissaries is at fault, and also kind of how they should tease it out and an appropriate punishment for it. So you have a lot of the intrigue that I think you're going to expect from this, and kind of probably one of the reasons I've heard this is like Game of Thrones in space is because you have this really rich, dramatic, terrifying, but also wonderful series of events where the emperors are trying to kind of mete out justice. And so that's kind of a rough approximation of this episode. The first thing I liked, I kind of talked about already, is the intrigue. I really liked the emperors kind of dealing with the emissaries and trying to kind of figure out who was at fault, and then also when they made out punishment. I thought that was a really terrible but also amazing scene. Like I really liked the ending of this because this and I'll go into that apparently, but so I really liked how the emperors tried to investigate this, and also how they were kind of teaching brother Don, the youngest emperor, what it kind of means to lead. I thought that was interesting, kind of seeing how he is starting to be groomed to be an emperor, and how brother Dusk and brother Day are starting to kind of groom him up and teach him what needs to happen and the tough choices that he has to make. And so I really liked that. And then also there was a little bit of intrigue on the ship with the kind of outcast deserters. I don't know what you want to call them, but not as much. But there was also interesting to see Wraith and Harry's kind of vying for control, and also their kind of animosity. I thought that was interesting to see as well. I didn't get that from the first episode, so this you kind of fleshed out a little more. The second thing I really loved is Lee Pace. I thought Lee Pace did a really good job, especially in the ending scene. Like that was a very dramatic ass moment. I think it was my favorite part of this series so far, and also my favorite part of the episode. And kind of Lee Pace makes that with the way that he kind of brings down the fire. And I like Lee Pace a lot. I think he's a fantastic actor, and so seeing him in this kind of a role was a lot of it was fun and also terrifying. And the last thing I talked about already is I love the ending of this episode. This episode, the ending made me really want to keep going and see what else this series has to offer, because it's such a big moment and such a big kind of gasping moment that makes me kind of excited and also scared to see where this goes. So the things I didn't like about this episode, this is a minor one, and I'm sure this will be kind of cleared up as I watch more, but it did kind of feel like this episode and the first episode had sort of a pattern. You had kind of an exciting introduction, or at least a dramatic introduction, and then a slower paced middle where more is revealed, and then a big dramatic ending. And that's kind of how the first episode was. That's how this episode was. I don't hate that. Like I don't mind that format, but it makes me worry that this is going to just be kind of the way that all these episodes are. You'll start with something impactful and then have a slower kind of more have a slower paced middle, which can feel slow. I don't mind it yet, but I could maybe see if it keeps going, maybe I'll kind of want a little bit more action. And then a big dramatic finale to kind of hook you. And I'm not sure if that's just how this series is structured, or kind of maybe how large 1 hour TV series are normally structured, because I don't watch that much TV. So this is kind of a newer, this is kind of a refresh for me. So maybe that's just how it is, and I'm just not used to it. But in any event, I didn't love kind of how it feels like there is a pattern going on. The second thing I didn't love is, kind of touched on already, I want a little bit more action. I like the intrigue, I like the drama, but eventually I'm going to want some more action. And this had a big dramatic action-ish ending, and the first episode also had a big dramatic kind of action-ish ending. But I'm kind of hoping for more. I want a big galactic battle. I want maybe some more action in the middle. It feels like the action is on the edges, and it doesn't necessarily. It's not very exciting. It is dramatic and impactful and gives you an oh wow moment, but kind of hoping for more action. Maybe that's not what this series is. Maybe it's not going to have that, but that's just something I observed and something I was hoping for more of. And the last thing I didn't love is it feels like between episode 1 and episode 2, there was a decent amount of time that had passed. And I don't know if in the books, maybe that's how it happens. Maybe there's a jump, or if the books explore it, but they had to cut it for the series. I could see them having to cut some of the filler connector parts for the series. But there was a big change in some of the characters at the start of this episode. And I was just like, oh, well, I don't remember that in the first episode. And maybe that's just how it is. Maybe there's going to be some jumps, but it did feel like maybe there was a lapse. Maybe there could have been a little bit more of a build up for some of the changes and some of the things that have happened since the first episode. But again, those were all minor. I'm excited to see more. I'm already hooked, and I'm excited to see what the next episode brings. So that's Foundation Season 1, Episode 2. It's streaming on Apple TV Plus today, September 24th. So you can check it out now. And thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.